Hey, Thomas West, if you need the Bushmen to come on for that Leafs Weekly right before the season starts, we're here. We're ready. Let's go.
Let's go. He was like, I'm chirping the players. They're like, they can hear you. I'm like, okay, I gotta come check this out.
Right away, John Salazzo's dad noticed. I think I was giving it to Brett Lawson, who was on the Barrie Baycats at the time. But people are catching on. There used to be nobody on the third base line.
So I see Ray approaching him. I'm like, this could go one of two ways. Namely, one way where this guy just suckers Ray in the head.
We can see what happens in Christie Pitts when the boys are on fire.
So looking forward to being joined by the Bushmen here on Leafs Weekly. That's coming up in just a couple moments. But first, just touching on the start by the Toronto Maple Leafs. First of all, I don't think a lot of people thought this team was going to start 0-4. I think the sentiment around the team right now is that it's a very long season. And although it's been a bit of a rough start on the field in terms of winning games, there's been a lot of positives off the field and with the amount of people that are showing up to Dominico Field. We had an excellent opening ceremony on opening day on May 12th against the London Majors, a game that the Maple Leafs came up just short, but we saw what feels like record numbers in a long time at Dominico Field as the fans were packing the hillside. And there's a lot of positives with the new ownership groups and what seems like it's going to be a new era of baseball for the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. I had a chance to catch up with Rob Butler after the home opener, who remains optimistic and had a lot of positive takeaways despite the loss against London.
Oh yeah, the whole day was positive. You know, the guys are getting their reps in, getting ready for a long season ahead. You know, anything can happen on day one when you're playing, against London. And, we battled back. We could have easily just caved on the first day, but we didn't. The guys are all, showing what they're going to do all season, that we're never out of it. And, good things are ready to come.
So the one constant between every game for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season is that everything has been close and it's come right down to the wire. I talked to Jesse Hodges about the team's level of compete after their loss against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and he said that's not an issue with the team right now.
I mean, we're competing, so you can take that right off the board right there. Like, we're going out and we're giving everything we got every time we get on the field. Things will click, right? A lot of people in baseball, it's a long season, it's a grind, it's a sport of failure. You can't click the panic button yet. So we'll just keep competing. Couple bounces, couple pitches, couple balls fall our way, and we're off to the races.
One of the new faces on the Toronto Maple Leafs this season is Charlie Towers, and he looks like a guy who's going to fit into that kind of super utility role for the Toronto Maple Leafs, one which he has already shown that he can do so far. He's played a couple positions on the infield, and he's played a game in left field as well. I had a chance to talk to Charlie Towers, who's a newcomer to the Toronto Maple Leafs this season, about how he's fitting in and how he's been able to take on the challenge of playing so many different positions.
It's fun. Playing left field the other night was definitely interesting. I don't think I've done that since I was like 11 years old, but I got one in the first inning, so it kind of settled me down a little bit. I had Santos and Carrington out there helping me out, so it's fun, man. I like moving around. I think it provides value, and I just like to be in the lineup wherever I am.
And as you may have seen in the opener, the Bushmen are coming up in the show, so let's get to them right now. Here's the Bushmen. All right, pleased to be joined by the Bushmen here with Elliot, Garret, and Ray. It's an honor to have you guys on. I know we had Elliot on a couple of years ago in the debut season of Leafs Weekly, but now, Elliot, you've brought the whole crew here. How's the Bush looking this season?
This one could use some water, but the one at the park's looking dynamic.
We actually added a few bush hostas this year. We did a few little upgrades. They might be getting watered with beers and tears of our opponents, but we're looking to upgrade the bush.
Yeah, the grass still isn't growing up on the hill, is it?
No, never will.
It never, ever will.
I mean, just on the topic of there being a lot of new people at the park, and it seems like there's a lot of new Leaf fans as well, just because how many people are showing up to the park. I'm not sure that every single new fan might know you guys and how you came to be. In fact, I'm kind of curious about how this dedicated group of Bushmen kind of came to be. Can you kind of give me the origin story of the Bushmen?
Let's go.
Yeah,
Garrett.
absolutely. You want me to chime in, Ray? Yeah. So,
Go for it.
we're obviously all, Toronto sports fans and have been very familiar with the team for years. They used to be on Rogers 10, so you catch yourself on a lazy Sunday just watching a few games, and obviously had been at the park a few times. But it was probably around 2017. Ray messaged me, I want to say around sometime in August, and he's like, "Hey man, like get down to Christie Pitts. I'm watching the Leafs." And Ray and I have been to many baseball games, and you have your fruitless efforts of heckling in the Sky Dome, and no one can hear what you're saying. So he was like, "I'm chirping the players, and like they can hear you." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I gotta come check this out." So it would probably say late 2017. There was maybe 3 or 4 of us just catching the end of the season, and from there we just said, guys, let's just kind of get together. Like, what a better way to spend a Sunday than at the park watching some great baseball. But also the element of some good friendly PG banter in terms of heckling. And I'll let Ray continue. But there's one funny moment. It was in our early stages of 2018. So there's maybe only 5 of us, and we were playing the Kitchener Panthers. And we're just giving it to Mike Andrulis, who was at shortstop. I think he made an error. We're just giving it to him. And I go into the bush to, just take a quick leak, as we do. And I come back down and I see a Kitchener player coming up the hill. And there's only about 3 of us there. And we've been giving it to this guy all game. So I see Ray approaching and I'm like, this could go one of 2 ways. Namely, one way where this guy just suckers Ray in the head. But immediately as the guy comes up, he just sticks out his hand and just goes, "Keep doing what you guys are doing." And then he leaves. So that vindicated us in terms of, the whole league. Like, obviously we're doing it for fun, just to, get after some guys, but it purely validated kind of what we were doing and what we were bringing to the park. And I don't know, Ray, maybe you have some other stuff to add to it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that and just getting that recognition, was that early 2017, 2018. Those first games, you're letting it out, and something just comes out of you, that organic heckle. They kind of just build on the fly. And right away, John Salazzo's dad noticed. I think I was giving it to Brett Lawson, who was on the Barrie Baycats at the time, veteran IBL pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure he's still in the league this year.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He just walked over to me, Salazzo's dad, and just again stuck his hand out and he said, was that you giving it to Brett Lawson? Keep it up. And that just gave me the fuel to the fire. And since then, it's just been growing, and people are catching on. There used to be nobody on the third base line. And I think, we're adding a fun element to the games, making it enjoyable for the players. They're giving it their all, and it's amazing baseball, as we all know. And, they're used to that kind of high level banter. And we can see what happens in Christie Pitts when the boys are on fire and, being creative.
Yeah. Who was it? I think it was on Welland. I think it was Dane Tofflinson. So he was playing third base, and we were on him from the start of the game. And he had 5 errors, and we kept asking him how many E's in Tofflinson. Because there's a lot of E's in Tofflinson.
Oh, yeah.
The uniqueness of Christie Pitts is, it just amplifies any sort of noise to field level. So we've just really kind of honed in on that. And it doesn't matter what it is. It can be the shoelace. It can be a pant leg untucked. We'll find it and we'll zone in on it like a bunch of rabid hyenas.
Yeah, one of the ones I remember was one that you had on Braden Farrington. Do you know?
Mustard
Old
glove?
mustard glove, eh?
I thought I was a pitcher, and I still have my glove. So that one really resonates with me with the mustard glove. I couldn't believe that. I was thinking I got the exact same color glove that he's got as well.
It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah,
He reaches out to us like probably a few times throughout the year.
Yeah.
And each year over the last few years, he sent us a picture of his new custom-made mustard glove.
Yeah.
Pre-season, so we can start churning up some good shots for him.
Yeah. Before we let you guys go, a lot of the people watching this are probably tuning in pre-game because this is where this is going to play before the game against the Kitchener Panthers. Just a quick thought on them. I know that this seems like a must-win game for the Leafs just to get things turned around.
I think we're right there, right? Like we've been in all the games, battling right till the end. Kitchener, they need a win too, right? Like they've been kind of slumping to start the season.
Yeah.
But I think, night crowd, first night game of the season, the boys are gonna bring it. I'm looking for a strong offensive output from the fellas. I think we're right there, right? We ran into a couple outs last game. So I'm thinking, big win for the boys. Send the folks home happy. A nice and tidy 8-2, and a big victory on the Bush. Come up to the hill, folks. We'll probably be playing till midnight, so we'll be there till Thursday. So yeah, I'm thinking a nice win by the boys.
I think it's going to be a big party. If it was anything like yesterday in Christie Pitts, where there was about 1,000 young teenagers launching off Roman candles, the police had to shut down the entire park. We could have a repeat tomorrow night. We're going to go home happy. I like G's idea. I think it's going to be a nice, clean game. Boys are going to come out swinging. I'm thinking 7-5. It's going to get a little tight right down the stretch, but we're going to get the win.
I like it.
I'm kind of sitting right in between you guys. I'm thinking like a 6-3 victory because honestly, our pitching staff, by IBL standards in terms of like runs allowed per game, has actually been really good. Outside of that first game, we've been like 5 runs or under in each of the other 3 games. So I think the pitching staff keeps it up. The boys crank a couple more homers, like Necties. If that was 1 foot farther, that was a 3-run shot.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm with the boys there. We're gonna have a nice, solid offensive output and a great pitching performance.
Yeah,
that's my goal.
Seems like the team just needs a bounce. Maybe the energy you guys bring on Wednesday night will do just that. Thanks so much for bringing it on, bringing the energy of the Bushmen to Leafs Weekly. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Love it.
Love it.
Cheers, buddy.
I'll give him a 14 spot.
Oh, 28.
Ray, if you say like 9, you're banned from the Bush.
I'm going to say he locks in 45.
Another career high.
Career
Yeah,
high.
we don't go low.